us now, 'cause eventually it always comes around. Whether we die old or whether we die young, give it up till it's gone.
Last night I slept so well. This is really strange. Day 3. Let's see what happens. If anybody's interested, this is the colour of my pee. I'm not trying to raise my water input too much, so I'm having about 1.5 to 2 litres a day with about 8 grams of salt. That's all I'm having. So, I'm really impressed with how I slept. It's not helped the timing of the video.
It'll be good for you. When I think of all the things that I wouldn't do now if it wasn't for that one little bullet wound.
Okay, so it's day 3. I slept really, really well. Did so well that I overslept. So now we're going to go and try and find the sunrise, which I do most mornings anyway, but morning gratitude.
Die for, I know that our life's short, so live it up. Gotta live it up.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, life's a journey, I know that, and it doesn't come with a roadmap. So you know to get through this maze, along the way I made a few mistakes. Ever since then I left it all
It's like a
behind.
faster
Life's
snap.
never been better. Head up in the clouds where it ought to be. They say life's ordinary, but it's not.
Yummy.
Still for a minute I got in a rut. In prison I was limited and feeling stuck. Had my glass
So I went to
half
bed
empty, had to fill it up. Now
at
I
like
wanna give myself
10:30,
a quick
11, and I've woken up at 7:10. Sunrise was at 7:10. Now I'm rushing.
Okay, this is going to be a very interesting start to the video because half the reason I don't do social media or have tried starting and then stopped and everything else is through procrastination. Now, I don't know if anybody else can recognise this, but it's a really interesting quote saying from Will Smith. I'm going to put it in here.
He who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right.
And that quote alone is something that I think we should all live our day by. My brain is definitely on slow mode today and I need to kick back into action, but there's such a long sleep. I really want to try and give some context to this video because today's subject is autophagy.
My goals, I just know life's beautiful. Maybe that's cause I'm living it on cruise control. Truth be told, it doesn't matter if you make it the whole way up the ladder. Just as long as you're living out your dream. They used to tell me it was out of reach, but now I'm flying at 1,000 feet, never looking at the ground beneath. See, I got rid of all the doubt in me. Who I was ain't shit, I'm what I'm about to be. Because growing up all I heard was the same story, and if I don't learn well the blame's on me. So I started saying yes today to all the things I said no to yesterday.
Whether we die old or whether we die young.
Wow. So after a big night's sleep, missing the sunrise, it's time for some meditation, and then we're going to be talking about autophagy, mitophagy, and healing what we know within science is possible. But first,
The more you are building your coherence, just like a muscle builds over time, you're doing something amazing for yourself and your life. Namaste.
super interesting when you it's super interesting when you don't have food for 3 days and you're doing a heartfelt meditation and you're really trying to think about slowing down your heart rate. You're trying to think about, you know, all these wonderful things, and you can really feel so much more. But also I can recognize this morning that I am definitely not firing quite as well as I was, which is expected for today, but also some of my old habits coming back in, like procrastination and overthinking. And I really want to work on this as a human anyway, as I think we probably all do to a certain extent, but being honest and being open about it, of having 5 different thoughts in my head instead of just the one thing that I need to get done. So this morning We're going to take the boys for a walk, and we're going to discuss a bit more about autophagy, meditation, and how this all really kind of marries together.
To the gods in the sky, there's one thing you can do. You can send us some sun and we'll play you this tune. Because sitting in a room, lying down with a scoop and the sunshine throughout. Oh, it's nights like these that'll make us happy. Like a puppy getting lucky with a lassie. Right, so 3 hours passing by with that beat. Singing days like these, kicking back, just doing what we do. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Not a better place to start. Good morning, team. Hope everybody's had a wonderful, wonderful day. Happy day 3. Day 3 of the fast. And today we're going to be going through autophagy, mitophagy, and how the rejuvenation of cells can be so beneficial when it comes to your overall health, and why I would use it very much with people with Alzheimer's, dementia, cancer, and lots of other things. Now, this is all backed up by science and studies, not by influencers. So as a nutritionist, I have to read these sorts of things, and I am not a doctor, and I'm trying to pretend to be, but I do help people on a very mechanistic level when it comes to IBS, cancer, Alzheimer's, dementia, and all these things. And that's why it's such a big, passionate project of mine to try and get this across. Okay, so autophagy. Autophagy is basically the rejuvenation of cells. Now we do this weekly, we do this monthly, we do this when we sleep, we do this when we train, we do lots of it in different ways. But what we don't ever do is take the glycogen out of the system. And when we take glycogen out of the system, it makes the cells very vulnerable. And when they're vulnerable, we can then get rid of the trashy, shitty ones, and then we can reform new ones. But when it comes to autophagy, you also have something within that called mitophagy. Now, your mitochondria cells is what I was talking about on day 1, when we're talking about this wonderful thing and this powerhouse within the cell that gives you energy. And it's a little bit like a factory, I'd say. It's like, you know, you get all these good workers and bad workers. Some people can just go on the line, they can do it all day long. Some people, you know, get procrastination. They think about it and they're like, fuck it, and they try and do it a different way and they mess it up. What we want to do is try and get rid of those, and we want to introduce new ones. So what we can do through 3 days of taking glycogen out of the system, we know that those cells will die off and new ones will appear. Now that's really important, because as simple as cancer cells are very glycogenic. Now this is something where, if we've been doing it for years, fasting cancer patients, but it has not been publicized. And those sorts of things, after dealing with many people within remission and stuff, I think it's really important that we try and promote this factor that it's not just about the patient having chemotherapy. It's also about how vulnerable can we make those cells whilst going through chemotherapy, because it tries to attack cells. And this is so important to understand. A good fast every so often, just abstaining from food, doesn't have to be for 5 days. 3 days is probably good enough, or 2 days, but we can go through this cellular process. And when we are, autophagy, it's just that backup insurance and saving money. Now I'm going to take you to a very special place where hopefully I can explain it. Okay, so that is so much better right now. My headspace is clear. I'm going to go get my wetsuit, I'm going to get my surfboard, and I'll catch you in a minute. Procrastination is over. Let's get to the water.
I've been better, I'm better, man, I have lived better. I've seen better days, man, we all have. 2020's nothing but another
So as I walk down to the set, trying to give some context. So when we're talking about autophagy, we're talking about the rejuvenation of cells. Now, this morning is a prime example of, you know, shitty mindset. When I got up this morning, I thought I was late, so I was basically going to give up on the video. I was like, oh my god, I missed the sunset, that's ruined the whole thing. Now we can all relate, I'm sure, with a bit of procrastination and self-destruction. Stressing your body taking the glycogen out of the system, you then rejuvenate new cells. Now that is just science. And then you also, within autophagy, you have something called brain went then. You have something called mitophagy, and mitophagy is a rejuvenation of the mitochondrial cells. And mitochondria is your energy within your cell. How fucking amazing is that? That you can do that yourself with no food. So all of these people telling you calories in, calories out, telling you that it's only about the number on a packet of a packet, I would ask them, like, is that completely necessary? Because if I just stop eating food for a couple of days, Matt's able to do it for 3 days and go surfing and he seems fine. Do you think there's any health risks to it? No, but what's the point? Well, we've gone through those already, but if there's the biggest point that I would like to make, mitophagy, autophagy, just getting some new cells, getting some new mindset. You never know where you're going to turn up. Fucking awesome. As I said that, I literally just jumping down a stepway and then fell flat on my face. Oh, I missed that one on the camera. Thank you. That has to be the coolest thing. Just turned up and there's two people obviously learning with a coach, and they just came in and caught the same wave together, screaming at each other. Woo, woo. That's what it's all about. Yes.
I'm good, but not great. How are you? Cause I'm kinda awful. I'm good, I'm pretty good. Thanks for asking, that's mighty thoughtful. I'm good, but not great. How are you? Cause I'm
Really small today, but an absolute lovely. What a time to be alive. Procrastination. Nah, not necessary today. 3 days no food. See how this goes. So autophagy is a little bit like the ocean. It's always working. But sometimes when the tide goes out, you'll find, look at this wave. No! I could have missed that one. I said to myself, no! You're gonna film? Yeah, no. Oh. Wow. I love surfing. I love the ocean and Mother Nature, especially after 3 days. No food, but still have this joy and this happiness. Anyway, back to my analogy. So autophagy is like the ocean. It's consistently like working. A bit like the ocean. It's always working. But then some people decide to chuck poo in there, they decide to chuck oil, fuel, whatever it may be. Oh. I'm finishing the no, finishing. Oh, wow. So people keep polluting the ocean, but Mother Nature seems to find a way of being able to make it right, like our bodies. But if we continually pump shit into it, it's only going to go one way, and that is Alzheimer's, dementia, IBS, depression, cancer, all these things. And we have the tools to clean it up. We really do. And a bit of fasting, a bit of utilization of good quality foods, understanding probiotics and understanding your whole GI tract, your gastrointestinal tract. You know, the job of a nutritionist, the job of a performance coach is to know all of that stuff and be able to put it all together for you on an open platform so you can talk about it. And if you do have IBS, if you do have gastrointestinal problems, whether that be IBS, so diarrhea, stomach cramping, foggy brain, tiredness, all that stuff, it is awful. You also have these people that, you know, go to the toilet 4, 5, 6, 10 times a day. That's not a life. and you can solve it really, really easily. It just takes a little bit of work and let Mother Nature do her thing. So for me, autophagy, the ocean, similar sort of thing. Mitochondria, coral reef, help rejuvenate the power source, making everything beautiful again, with new energy. But after 3 days no food, being out here surfing, blessed. Right, set is rolling in! Whoop-de-whoop. And I'm buzzing.
This one's for
Buzzing.
the kids in the street who got nothing
That
to eat, for the
was
struggling
fucking
people of our
awesome.
society. Cause I've been through some battles and most times I've been beat, but I rose from the dirt and I got back on my feet. So I know what I got and what I got's all I need to teach generations to break free from the domestication that was forced upon we. From the day you were born, you were told it would be. Just I know
That is pretty special about the surfing community. So I must have rushed off. I've been out there for about 2 hours. Nothing gone. No worries. Just everybody here needs good vibes. Alright team, so we're back. Got home after one surf. Now I've just got to make sure that the dogs are fed before going into a couple of calls, and then I'll be finishing the edit, making sure it's up tonight. But thank you for the comments and everything else. It's really inspiring me to keep on going and to push myself to do things like that. I would never have done that if it wasn't for you guys, because I thought I couldn't do it, and I literally was like, oh, well, I want to do the video out there, and I did. So thank you. Through losing, came to a conclusion, can't keep doing